What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be matchmaking perfect retirement fights for UFC fan favorites in every division. That's right, every division has these fighters that are coming up on that later point of their career, fighters who are looking down the door of retirement. Maybe not there, they might not be washed, but they're thinking of hanging it up. They've either announced this publicly, or they just are at that age where, you know, fighters just start hanging them up. They just start calling for their last couple fights, and they go out without a massive, like, losing streak. You know, they go out in a good way. They get their last hurrah, their Robbie Lawler moment. And that's what we're going to be talking about right now. I'm not doing flyweight because there's no like established like vets. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not matchmaking Tim Elliott's retirement fight, bro. You can actually like fight first, and then we can discuss what's next for your retirement, buddy. But we got every other division, bantamweight through heavyweight. Sorry, I'm not talking about women's MMA. But no, bantamweight through heavyweight, we're going to be discussing multiple options, 2 for each division for these fighters that I think are going to be retiring soon. Anyway, you guys let me know who you want to see for these next retired fighters. Also, I'm going to pin a link in the description or a link in the comments to go watch my predictions for the Fight Night card this weekend on my second channel. Go check that out, subscribe over there. But without further ado, let's start off with the bantamweight division. Jose Aldo. I think Mr. Jose Aldo Jr. is going to be retiring relatively soon. I reckon we see 2 or 3 more fights left for Jose. And I think the 2 guys that can send him off well, that he could beat, more so Cejudo, I think would be a much easier win for him. But yeah, Cejudo and Figueiredo are the 2 established former champions. I'm not trying to see this dude go off on a fucking win over Marcus McGee, bro. Like, if they've given him Martinez and Bautista, if they give him fucking Marcus McGee, I'm gonna actually get pissed off. Like, I'll just say, a Vinicius Oliveira matchup would be fun, but like, if they just give some unknown fucking no upside prospect to Aldo, and on his, like, for another fight, and this dude just gets held against the cage by fucking Farid Basharat for his retirement, I'm actually gonna be pissed off. Cejudo's an easy win for him, in my opinion. He would stuff. If Cejudo loses this weekend, he's probably 1 fight gone on retirement too. We always wanted the Aldo Cruz fight. That ain't happening. Cruz is retired. Aldo Cejudo, probably the second best we can get right now. Competitively wise, if you think Aldo's a bit better in the division than his ranking suggests, I think a Figgy fight would still be pretty fun on the feet. In a 3-rounder especially, I would back Aldo maybe to win, but this would be real competitive. Who would you guys pick? Let me know in the comments between Figgy and Aldo. But I think these are the 2 perfect ones, Cejudo or Figgy. And again, both of these 2 are going to be retiring soon. So you could go out. Imagine you do a Rio Fight Night main event. Aldo versus Figueiredo, both of them retire. That'd be cool. Like, we could really have a sick moment there. Cejudo, chuck it on a pay-per-view feature fight. That'd be cool as well. Let's move on, though, to the featherweight division. Next up, we got Volkanovski, Alexander Volkanovski, and I think there's 2 options for him. One of them's in his division, one of them's upper division, and if Volk's going to go out, I think you go out with a name. Could you go out with some random guy who we could beat easily? Yes, but I think an Aljo fight is a cool champion versus champion matchup that we would enjoy, and I think it's a very winnable fight for Volk. And a more difficult option, that's why I've got 2 per division. A more difficult option would be go up to lightweight, fight an Oliveira, fight a Poirier, fight a Holloway. No, don't fight a Holloway. Fight like a Gaethje, but I think Gaethje, that's a terrible idea. So I don't know. If he's going to go up to lightweight I think a retirement fight at lightweight could be kind of cool. If he doesn't win like if they go elsewhere and to do Volk Lopez for the interim or for a vacant belt, and Volk wins a vacant belt back, gets his title, first of all, he's my GOAT. Second of all, that would then kind of change the narrative of like, do we need to give Volk, when's Volk retiring? Because if he wins the belt back, I could see him really pushing on for another couple years. If he loses to like a Lopez or an Ilya in a rematch, that's where, even though I think Volk's stubborn, I do think Volk, out of everyone on this list, probably has the longest to go in his career. Not age-wise, but just because he seems like a guy who's going to fight for a bit too long, which I'm worried about. But I think an Aljo fight's a good way to minimize any fucking damage that he could potentially take. You know, I wouldn't mind a Bryce Mitchell fight. You know, I wouldn't mind a, like, what we're giving him to everyone's favorite 34-year-old prospect, Lerone Murphy, bruv. He can get the Volk treatment as well. But I don't know, Oliveira at lightweight would be cool. Again, just a fan favourite matchup, would be kind of fun. I don't know how much I'd favour Volk. I'd have to see how he looks first, but I think he will just struggle at lightweight with such a like vast size difference. Anyway, I think those two would both be pretty cool send-off fights for Volk. And again, these are like win or lose. This isn't like desperation, like we need to get these guys a win. I could do a video on like fully washed fighters who are completely cooked in their careers that need to get a win and who I could match them up with. I could do that too, but this isn't that. This is just like names that we can match up to give one of them a nice send-off, win or lose, and just have a cool moment. Anyway, let's move on to the lightweight division. Lightweight, Dustin Poirier. I think it's one of two guys. It's one of two trilogy options. You either go settle the 1-1 scorecard with Gaethje after his fight with Dan Hooker, or you, I don't know, for some reason fight Max, I guess, even though you're up 2-0. I think it's either that. I don't think he's rematching Oliveira. Chandler, absolutely not. You don't get another fucking top 5 opponent, you bum. What's he gonna do? Go out in a fucking Arman Tsarukyan fight? Like, no. Paddy, he's seeming to say it's legends only, which would indicate, unless he's going up a division for his last fight or something, if he's staying at lightweight, Max, and Max is the only one really not booked right now. I think they might, like, Holloway Max makes a lot of sense. I would love to see that. I hope that happens. If that does happen, I am confused who the fuck Poirier is fighting, because there's no way Chandler gets another fight with him. Poirier wouldn't even accept that. He would just say fuck off. So unless they're doing like Poirier versus some other random name that we're not thinking of at lightweight, like he's saying legends only, I would qualify legends only as like Poirier, Chandler, not Chandler, Poirier, what was I going to say? Charles, Hooker, Gaethje, these fights. These are the legends only quote matchups, not fucking Paddy, not Chandler, right? So if maybe he just waits, maybe they haven't got something booked for him yet, and he just waits for the winner of Gaethje Hooker and fights them, or the loser, either one of them. I think Gaethje would be a more appealing one, and I don't think Gaethje would deserve a title shot either. So Gaethje Poirier 3, fight night, main event, pay-per-view main event, pay-per-view co-main event, any of those things, 5 rounders, we need to see that. That'd be sick. Holloway would be also pretty cool. I would prefer to see Poirier just wait a little bit, figure out a location. They seem like they're trying to get him in New Orleans or whatever, where he's from, Louisiana. So that might indicate that they are just going to wait for like Gaethje or Hooker. That'd be cool. I wouldn't object to that at all. In the meantime, do Holloway versus Oliveira, because I think we all want to see that. But yeah, either of those two options work. If you're going at a welterweight option, I don't think Colby even deserves him, and Poirier wouldn't want that. I think if you're going welterweight, Usman, you're not doing a fucking Poirier-Usman fight. That doesn't make any sense. There's not Wonderboy. Like, I don't know. Poirier, it's weird. He's saying legends only, so if it's not Max, and they're not just gonna wait, like if he's got a fight booked and it's not Max, I'd be very confused who it is. Anyway, and it's because Paddy, again, he's seeming to say it's not going to be Paddy. Anyway, let's move on to the welterweight division. Osman, Kamaru Osman. I'd say Osman's got 2 options for retirement. I don't think his retirement's next. I think they're going to do him versus Buck. And if he loses that, I think then his fight after that's probably the last one. Because again, this dude's taken a fucking year and a half off up since the Hamzat fight. Like, what's he doing? Where is he? So again, if he loses to Buckley, he probably won't want to go out on a loss. He'll probably want to go out on a bigger name and just be like, all right, let me get one more. If he beats Buckley, then he's probably going to just try and fucking campaign for a title shot and sit out for another 10 months. But if he loses to Buck, let's say I think he's got 2 options. You either run the outer division matchup, you go a Whittaker fight. I don't even know why he would go back down to 70, to be honest. I just don't think there's anything there for him. Stay at fucking middleweight, and you could probably get like 1 win and just look at a title fight, because it'd just be fun. He wouldn't deserve it, but it'd just be cool. Like, Amavov and Baralio and Hamzat are ahead of him, but like, apart from that, get a win against fucking, I don't know. If you fight Whittaker and win, which I wouldn't favour him to, I think Whittaker would beat him. But like, if you fought like a Whittaker, or fucking call for Usman right now, should be calling for a fucking fight with Sean Strickland. That's what he should be doing. Because would he beat Strickland? Not necessarily, but he's beat him before, so he's got an easy into that fight. Like, he's got an easy campaign angle for that fight. And if he wins, he's top 5 at middleweight, coming off a win over Sean Strickland. So like, bang, he could probably just fucking privilege his way to a title shot. But Whittaker and Wonderboy. Wonderboy's the only other one. He's like the only, like, so quote-unquote legend in the division that he hasn't fought. Like, I don't think this dude's sticking around for a retirement fight against fucking Michael Morales or Ian Gary or fucking Carlos Prates. Let me tell you about this kid. Like, I think if he's going to go out, if he's going to, like, actually, like, maybe he just calls it at some point randomly and we don't see the gloves laid down in the cage and he just announce his retirement. But if he wants to do the Poirier thing of saying uno mas, one more, and just call it ahead of time, I think we end up getting a fight like a Wonderboy or a Whittaker. That'd be cool. Anyway, let's move on to the middleweight division. Middleweight, no sympathy for Izzy. Alright, it's either death via Hernandez, it's either death via cardio maxing from Anthony Hernandez, or you can go up and fucking death via autism maxing from Yuri. You got two options, kid. I'm sorry, people saying Sean Strickland, shut up. We don't just give both of them the opportunity to rebound against the top 5 guy after coming off a loss. Both of them should be fighting outside the top 5. Strickland, I'm okay with a Whittaker fight. He's coming off 1 loss. Izzy is on a 3-fight loss streak. There is literally 0 fucking defense for him fighting up the rankings. I don't care if, but it's a way to redeem his loss. He's on a 3-fight loss streak. He got walked down and dominated by Strickland. I know Strickland just lost. Strickland, I'm not saying Strickland deserves a high fight. I saw some people saying Strickland and Mavov too. No, shut up. You're retarded. Strickland does not fight Izzy. Strickland versus either Whittaker or Robocop with a win over Cannonier. And then Izzy versus the winner of Hernandez Allen or Robocop. One of them two. I'm okay with that. Either of those two. Kopolov versus Whittaker would be cool as well. That's something I wouldn't mind happening. Because apparently Kopolov's got a fight in the works for May against a well-known top 15 opponent. This is not my source telling me. This is something I saw from some Russian Telegram translation. I translated it, doing some research, right? Saying Kopolov's fighting a well-known top 15 guy in May. And I'm just thinking, like, everyone's fucking booked the whole time. Don't take this as me saying Kopolov's fighting Whittaker. I could be retarded. Like, it might just be Kopolov versus Costa. But I thought Costa's going to be fighting Bo Nickel in April. That seems like what is more likely. Plus, Costa's already saying he wants on the April card. So, I'm confused. I don't know who the fuck Kopolov's fighting if it's a ranked guy. Whittaker would be cool. Lucas Tracy will finally get his chance to prove, because Lucas was on the train of Kopolov beats Whittaker for a while until he lost. But anyway, who was I even talking about? Izzy. Yeah, Izzy can either fight fucking Anthony Hernandez if he beats Brendan Allen, and you can prove that your wrestling defense is as good as people think it is. If people think it is at all, I don't know. But yeah, I'd say Robocop with a win over Cannonier. We really need Robocop to win this weekend. Like, I know some people feel bad for Cannonier, which I do, but for the division, there's that, like, Strickland needs to fight down, Whittaker needs to fight down, Izzy needs to fight down. None of them should really be fighting each other. I am okay with Strickland Whittaker to an extent if they run Baralio or Mavov for the number 1 contender. It should have been Whittaker, Baralio, and Mavov should just be able to wait. And then Izzy should be fighting Hernandez. That's my call on the situation. If not, though, if you want something else, I think Izzy's going to lose his next fight, probably, unless it's to Strickland, and he might win there, because Strickland's probably just not going to do anything. But if he fights Robocop, I could see him getting chinned, which is crazy to say, depending on how Robocop looks this weekend. If he fights Hernandez, I'm pretty confident he would just get cardio maxed and subbed late. But I don't know, depends. We'll see what happens. But if he does I think if he loses his next fight, he'll then be stubborn and be like, alright, one more, trust. I'm going to go out on a win. I'm bounce back like a boomerang. Watched. Anyway, Izzy, Yuri, or Hernandez, one of them two. Either fight an up-and-coming contender at middleweight. Don't just be fucking privileged and sit on your ass and fight up the rankings. Like, Strickland for him is a smart call. Shouldn't happen at all, though. Anyway, let's move on to the light heavyweight division. Light heavyweight Jan Blachowicz, there's 2 pathways, and look, if he loses to Wahlberg, it's tough. His next fight after that's probably it. And would he deserve then a fight up with Yuri? No, but do I still just want to see Blachowicz versus Yuri in Europe as a fight night main event in Poland or in the Czech Republic? Yes, because that's a badass fight. Like, that would be cool. But then the other option is an easier one. Send him out on a KO win. Give him Johnny Walker. He can lay him unconscious. Those are the 2 options for Blachowicz, in my opinion. I don't know. Blachowicz not quite as much of a legend as the other guys, but still a guy who I'll kind of miss when he's gone. You know, still prime Jan was always a fun watch. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few options. You know, Jamal Hill's a fight that you could do, but I'm saying, like, former champion Yuri in Europe, fight night main event would be sick. Or you can just give him one of those kind of fun up-and-comers, because he's not to the point where it's like, oh, we need desperately to get him a win. Like, we need to find the biggest bum to fight. Like, they could just give him anyone, and it's just Blachowicz announce that it's your last fight. If he loses to Wahlberg, he might even call it there. But if he says one more, I'd say either of these two would be cool. Let's move on though to the heavyweight division. Derek Lewis, I'd say he's the one guy at heavyweight that's like closing in on retirement. Like I would say Ty, but I don't care about Ty. But Derek Lewis, if he's gonna pack it up soon, you can run a rematch with Tuivasa, Tai Taco Bell Tuivasa, so that wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be fun, I guess. He'd probably smoke Ty in a rematch, because he's not 500 pounds and shaped like a sphere. But if you're not going to do that, they'll probably do what they always do with Lewis, which is cycle him between losing a top 10 fight, winning a bottom ends top 15 fight, and then and then fighting an unranked opponent. He did it with Marcos Teixeira de Lima. He did it with Rodrigo Nascimento. This guy fights unranked guys. And if they want to give him a fun unranked guy who they're trying to build a name off, who I would see them. I'm not saying Derek Lewis is close to retirement, but he is 40. That is what I'm saying. He's probably the closest of all heavyweights, except for John. But John doesn't count. Like John, it's death by Aspinall or nothing else. Just retire otherwise. But Derek Lewis, I think a Taliesin Teixeira fight would be quite fun. And again, if Taliesin gets a few more wins in the meantime, keep that man active, by the way. Taliesin should be fighting 4 times a year. And just KO and cans. He should get 4 KOs this year over just straight bums. Like, line him up next, fucking give him, if he's still signed, Lucas Bershke, give him fucking Thomas Peterson, give him fucking Don'Tale Mays, and then you can give him like a Derek Lewis fight. I think he's very good. Oh, he's not very good. I think he's got potential though. But yeah, you don't want to rush him. Don't give him fucking Derek Lewis next. That's what you don't do. But anyway, that'll do it. What do you guys think? Which retirement fights would you like to see for these legends? There's other fighters in the divisions too, but I just went with the one that stuck out for me. Anyway, yeah, again, watch my prediction video if you haven't already. I'll probably go live for the fight this week, the card this weekend, if my fucking stream doesn't keep crashing. Anyway, peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.